So Trump calls for 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico. I find this so ironic because I've spoken to a lot of people who voted for Trump and I've watched videos of people who voted for Trump. And the one thing they kept saying over and over is, hey, I know this guy's kind of a bad guy. I know he's kind of, sexist and racist and all of that, but we need him to save our economy, right? We remember how it was when he was in office in 2016, which I really don't believe because I was there and it was pretty bad. But we remember when the price of eggs were like $1 for a 12 dozen. We want to get that back. So the Trump voters, the MAGA voters, vote for him to get that 25. I'm sorry, to get that better economy, and essentially he immediately puts a 25% price increase on everything. Now, this is coming from Canada. This is going to be towards Canada and Mexico, and an additional 10% on imports from China, which I think people have generally accepted as okay. It's like a mini. It's like a well, economic war against China that we still ended up paying for anyways. And actually, he does do even worse to China later on. But it just feels so like it's in a way I'm kind of happy even though I'm going to be punished with the MAGA voters because I want them to experience the negative consequences of what they voted for. You vote for Trump for a better economy and he lower prices and he just raises the prices on you. So it just makes me wonder. I mean, if you voted for the economy and Trump doesn't deliver the economy, what did you vote for? What was left? Fascism? You voted for fascism? That's all you get out of all of that? So let me read this article from Supply Chain Dive. So Donald Trump plans to use an executive order to lever a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico on day one in office, the president-elect posted on Truth Social on Monday. Does anybody actually go on Truth Social who isn't like a MAGA person? I don't think so. These new threats also include a promised additional 10% tariff on goods from China and build on Trump's campaign to impose aggressive tariffs to entice companies to establish production hubs in the U.S. I highly doubt it because, and I want to focus on this, there's just this fantasy that we're going to bring all the manufacturing back to America overnight. And the reality is, the situation that America is in has been building for like 30 years. And the reality is, the products that China produces are produced by people who get paid much less. And you can't pay people in America a living wage and produce those same kind of cheap products, right? Whatever they are, laptops, computers, and such. It's just easier to have China build them because it's always going to be cheaper. And that's just what it is, right? So I wanted to go ahead and scroll down to the response. So if President Trump's proceeds with imposing immediate and unilateral tariffs, it could escalate tensions and effectively go nuclear on USMCA. In response, Mexico and Canada might retaliate with tariffs on U.S. exports before revisiting the agreement. This is so wild that we're in a situation where Mexico and Canada want to retaliate with tariffs because it's sort of painting them as an adversary of America when they are the staunch allies. They are our biggest supporters. They're right on our border, and we've always done so much to help them, and they've always done so much to help us. So it's so weird to punish somebody who's on our side. Canada has been the most surprised by this because we have no beef whatsoever with Canada. None. So how are you punishing Canada with tariffs? I really don't know. And so it is funny in this next article here. So Trudeau actually went to Florida, which I think is pathetic of him to do this. And he actually spoke directly with Donald Trump. Really not a very weak move on Trudeau's part. Doesn't show any strength. You have to stand up to Trump at all times. You can't just let him run over you. You know what I mean? So Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau returned home Saturday after meeting with Donald Trump without assurances. So you went there to kiss Donald Trump's ass It's I think they won't take the video down for if I say that. You went to kiss his behind, and he didn't give you anything. Trudeau, you weakling, you went over there. I'm sorry. I'm having fun because it's turned into a reality TV show. Um, Honestly, it's every day is like I've been laughing at all the silly things that's been happening. Mexico, I loved. When Mexico basically said, "Hey, go ahead and put a tariff on us. We'll put a tariff back on you." And she also clarified, the Mexican president. She also clarified that this isn't the way to solve this problem, because at the end of the day, the illegal immigrants that go to America are not all Mexican. They go through Mexico, and then Mexico tries their best to stop them. But they're not all Mexican. So we need the help of Mexico. We need them to be our friend. We need them to be our friend so that if we send them back, them being the illegal immigrants, they might not all be Mexican. They might be people from all the other South American countries. They might even be from China. I've heard of Chinese illegal immigrants. They cross through the Darien Gap in Panama. They go up north, and then they go to the United States that way. So we need Mexico to be our best friend. So to put tariffs on Mexico in order to punish them, like I don't like what you've been doing, is the worst idea. We have always been chill with Mexico. We have been good friends with Mexico, and of course, even better with Canada, right? So I really don't know what's going on here. I feel like maybe there's a mastermind plan that I may not understand. And when I say mastermind, I don't give him credit for being smart or anything, but there must be something I don't get or understand about this issue, right? So we're going to see what it is. And I also wanted to not skip this part. So in the lead up to the November 5th election, Trump consistently said he would raise tariffs on China 60%, while also implementing 20%. So he's just raising the prices on everything for who knows why. And so what I did is I happened to pull up a China, because one of the things that China produces is TVs. I don't know if you guys know TCL. I pulled up a TCL TV, an 85-inch TV. One thing that I've always been surprised with is the prices of television. They've been pretty reasonable. They haven't been out of reach for pretty ginormous TVs. So this 85-inch TV, so they have a Black Friday sale on it. It's $1,199. The original price is $1,499, right? So if they raise the price on this by 60%, that's another like $800. So this $1,500 TV would go up to $2,300 under Trump's tariffs, right? Oh, like everything is going to be going up massively. And so when you come back around next Christmas to buy yourself a TV, your eyes are gonna water. Your eyes are gonna water when you see the prices on the things that we want to buy next Christmas. Oh my God, I can't even like process how crazy. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's like I told you so. We told you. Trump had told us. Remember in the debate when he said that he had a concept of a plan. I want to rewatch some of the debate because this is the part where he talks about first of all, he talks about Obamacare, and then he talks about some. Here it is.
Concepts of a plan, good as it can be run.
So, just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
Better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So, just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan.
I have concepts of a plan, and then Kamala laughed. Can you guys just take a second to just look at the difference between these two people? I can't even do it. Look at how hopeful and bright and youthful Kamala looked, and then look at how sinister and jaded and lost the way Donald Trump looked. Can you see that? And I would actually go back because he actually speaks a little bit about Obamacare.
Obamacare was lousy health care, always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up with something, and we are working on things, we're going to do it and we're going to replace it. But remember this, I inherited Obamacare because Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it. They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to change it. If they would have done that, we would have had a much better plan than Obamacare. But the Democrats came up. They wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to.
So I want to stop right there because I don't know if you guys have been watching the TikToks where people were surprised to learn that Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. So here it is, the Affordable Care Act, formerly known as the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, and informally as Obamacare, is a landmark U.S. federal statute enacted by United States Congress and signed into law by President Barack Obama. So a lot of people who didn't want Obamacare were shocked to learn that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act. So essentially, Obama improved our healthcare system. And what the Republicans did is they attached his name to it. They called it Obamacare, right? Sort of like a play on Medicare, but they called it Obamacare to attach Obama's name to it. And everybody who hated Obamacare, everybody who hated Obama would subsequently hate Obamacare and wouldn't realize that all Obamacare is an improvement to their healthcare system. And so if you repeal Obamacare, you go back to the horror show that was the previous healthcare system. Okay. And so it's hilarious that I just feel like nobody does any research on anything. Like people are voting on things that they don't have any knowledge about, right? And so we also, in other breaking news, we go to Trump's defense secretary nominee, Pete Hegseth. So according to theguardian.com, I'm going to make sure to let you know I'm using sources because this is a very serious allegation. Trump's defense secretary nominee, Pete Hegseth's mother, called him an abuser of women. This seems to be a common theme with anybody who Trump picks. It's like in order to be on Trump's team, you had to have abused women, at least one woman along the way. You got to have that on your resume before you can even be selected to be a part of Trump's team. It seems a very common thing. You guys remember, what's the guy's name who was supposed to be the? Actually, I did forget his name. There was another person who. Oh yeah, the guy with the 17-year-old minors. Forgive me, Matt Gaetz. I'm surprised I forgot his name because of his face. That face is hard to forget. So Matt Gaetz had a unethical. Actually, let me read it as it said from CNN Politics. That's the source. The ethics committee told of second sexual encounter between Matt Gaetz and a 17-year-old. So I'm pretty sure you guys already heard about the story about Matt Gaetz having questionable encounters with a younger person that he should not have been doing. He should not have been participating with. So this guy was supposed to be this guy was supposed to be the leader of the Department of Justice. He's supposed to be the highest law enforcement person in the country, and he was doing what he was doing with those younger people. You know, it's really, 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 really unfortunate. But yeah, I wanted to read exactly what she said. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very transparent. She sent 2 emails to Pete Hegseth. One that sort of revealed how she felt by him, and then one that was an apology after. But I'm going to read what she wrote, and then I'll read her second response email. So his mom, Penelope Hegseth, according to The Guardian, accused her son of routinely mistreating women and displaying a lack of character. In her email, she wrote, "You are an abuser of women. That is the ugly truth, and I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego." Right? And she continues to write, "You are that man and have been for years, and as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it is the sad, sad truth," she added. advising her son to get some help and take an honest look at herself. Now, she did write a follow up email, sort of retracting that statement, and I'll add it here. I'll write it here. She rejected her earlier characterization of her son. It is not true. It has never been true. I know my son. He's a good father, husband. So here's the thing. There's no way a mother would be willing to write this stuff unless she meant it. Okay. And she basically, the way that she worded this makes me wonder if she wasn't even trying to write this to him, but it's almost like she wanted to write this almost like she's concerned about the women that Mr. Hegseth runs across, right? She's concerned about the women. You know, she called him an abuser of women. And didn't I just say that it seems like you cannot be in Trump's cabinet unless you've done women wrong at least once? Seriously, it's a common trait. You've got to be a little bit of a bad guy. You can't be a law and order person. You can't be an honorable, moral guy. You have to actually be a bad guy. So this is kind of the most current news. I don't know if you guys know who Kash Patel is. That's the FBI director that Trump intends to go with. Let's play a little bit of this video here.
Everything has changed because of Donald Trump firing Comey, that we're now at a stage in which the FBI director, who's not supposed to serve at the whims of whatever president comes in, we sort of just Trump sort of views that as a given. It is viewed as his appointment. So what
she's talking about is it seems like a theme, by the way, besides every person who Trump nominates has to have a bad record with women. They all have to essentially be loyal to him. They have to be a MAGA supporter and very loyal, right? He's not interested in people who are just career politicians. He's only interested in loyalists.
Whatever is happening in terms of who he chooses, the fact that this is even a seat that we're talking about shows how much Trump is planning on putting his people in. And now this gets to Cattell. There's no one less. I mean, there's a lot of people less qualified to run the FBI. There is no one the only reason why Trump would have done this pick is for his retribution campaign.
And we can't forget that that's exactly what's going to be happening, unfortunately, is that everybody Trump picks is just a tool for Trump to enact retribution. He's coming after the Democrats, and that's it. He's just coming after Democrats, and even worse, the Republicans who didn't support him. Right, the Republicans who had their own peace of mind and made up their own mind about things, right? And so this is just the new theme. This is just a new theme, and this is where we're going to be going, right? So one thing I wanted to let you know is that multiple sources familiar with the Trump process expressed deep concerns about the possibility of Patel being named FBI director, right? And it's why are people so concerned about Trump's picks? It's always like that. It's like people are like afraid. And what kind of presidency is this where we're always afraid of the people that Trump is going to pick, right? So Patel, let me read it word for word. Donald Trump has tapped Kash Patel to be FBI director, nominating a loyalist and deep state critic. So you guys remember when they were saying, oh, we're going to root out the deep state, which never meant anything. I want to repeat something. The deep state only meant people that Trump did not approve of. Do not ever think that the deep state is anything else except I don't like that guy because he didn't agree with me. Okay? Every single time. It's nothing else. Okay? So he's going to lead the federal law enforcement agency, right? So if you guys remember, he was involved in I'll read it word for word. If confirmed, Patel would replace Christopher Wray, who was appointed by Trump in 2017 after the then president fired James Comey over the FBI's Russia collusion probe. So you guys remember when we were investigating Trump for colluding with Russia, So Trump wants to make sure nothing like that ever happens again. You know, he doesn't want anybody investigating him on anything, obviously. Very, very obviously. So Patel apparently wrote a book, and Trump called his book "Government Gangsters." So he just feels like, and I want to clarify. Everybody that Trump doesn't like in Congress is a government gangster. I don't want you to be confused. Anybody that Trump doesn't like is called a government gangster. They're called the deep state. It's that simple. There's no truth to what he's saying. It's just, I don't like you, so I'm going to call you something bad. And then he says there's going to be a blueprint, that this is a blueprint to take back the White House. Project 2025 is the blueprint that they're going to be following, unfortunately. Right. So I did go on to Mr. Patel's Twitter. Of course, I found this. Was Hillary Clinton responsible for Benghazi? So obviously, already, just generally MAGA all around. You found this picture of Hillary, with her looking the way she looks, and if you look at the rest of his, like if you look at the top of his X, formerly known as Twitter, Trump's advisor, Kash Patel, and even his main pictures of him being with Trump. So this guy is a Trump lover. He loves him some Trump. He's got this picture. I got me a McTrump at MAGADonald's. So everything is just Trump. It's kind of unsettling how it's all Trump though, because it's like, do you do anything else for yourself except Trump? No, it's all Trump. It's all Trump. It's just he doesn't have a mind of his own. He doesn't have anything else to post about. Never stop working for Donald Trump. It's just all Trump, dude. Name something smarter than President Joe Biden. Yeah, so that's the kind of person that we're about to nominate. It's unfortunate that this is where we're at, but it is what it is. But anyways, I'll go ahead and keep you guys updated on all this reality TV show of a nation. Thank you. Take it easy.